Yo, what's up guys, Jack here, and today we're going to be taking a look at something very exciting. There's been a lot of talk recently about the next Battlefield title, and for the most part players really want to see it heading back to World War II. Well, it seems that other game developers want to also head back to the 1940s because a new game has hit Kickstarter that really caught my attention. Battalion 1944 is a World War II game using the Unreal 4 engine. It's currently on Kickstarter and has hit its goal of £100,000, currently sitting pretty at £165,000, so they've made way more money than they actually needed to, so hopefully that's going to actually allow them to make more content here and add more to the game. And Battalion 1944 is being developed by a company called Bulkhead Interactive, which is a new studio formed only in December last year based in the UK. To say it's just another World War II game though would probably do it an injustice, because it feels like they're going in a very nice direction with their vision for the game. The footage so far looks pretty good, but of course the proof will be when we can get our hands on it, and just a heads up for that, it looks like we won't be seeing this game in a playable form until early next year, so it's got plenty of development time ahead of it to improve and evolve. The game is set in 1944 as the name would suggest, and it's an infantry based FPS with an emphasis on raw skill. Raw skill is actually something they talk about quite a bit in the introductions for the game. They released a little video along with their Kickstarter, I'll link it down in the description below, and apparently the dev team, being fans of the early World War II games like Medal of Honor and Call of Duty, and even games like Counter-Strike, the developers say that they want to take away the advantage of, say, playing for 200 hours and having all of the unlocks and good weapons and attachments, and really put back the emphasis on actually practicing the core mechanics and weapons and mastering them in the game to become better. Now, they're certainly talking the talk, and that's how it should be in my book, and it makes for an interesting game for me personally. Battalion 1944 will take place in real-world locations, so we're looking at Carentan, Bastogne, Saint-Mère-Église, and feature all the new weapons you would expect from the era, so the Kar-98, Thompson, and the M1 Garand, to just name a few. If you've played any of the original Medal of Honor or Call of Duty games, you'll know exactly what they are. It also seems like the developers are putting a lot of effort to capture the authenticity of the era. They actually headed to Normandy to capture a ton of reference photos, as well as doing everything they can to fully capture the sounds of the weapons, down to the sounds they make when they run out of ammunition. It looks like they've definitely got a keen interest in the details, which is great. If the graphics in the early footage they've released are anything to go by, I think it could look pretty nice too. The forests of Bastogne look particularly lovely on Unreal Engine 4. The game will have full dedicated servers, and the studio is also teaming up with Multiplay to provide their official servers. As well as this, you'll be able to rent and host your own with custom rules, which is something that's surprisingly missing from a lot of games these days. Anti-cheat is something also on their minds. It seems like they're still deciding which one to go for, but currently they're looking at either Game Blocks, which is the anti-cheat system for Battlefront, or Easy Anti-Cheat. No mention of Fair Fight though, which is a shame. Either way, having a good anti-cheat of course is very important, and it's good to see that they're taking it seriously at such an early stage. Oh, and did I mention the game's going to have a full server browser and LAN support? It really feels like this is an old school game. How many FPS games have LAN support these days? Not many, so that's good to see. Game modes will include Capture the Flag, Deathmatch and Domination, which are pretty standard of course, but also they're testing new modes as well, and not only that, they say they'll be turning to the community for any requests or ideas, which is pretty interesting. In fact, they'll be live streaming a lot of their developer meetings and giving new information on the game, so it's a good chance for the community to check up on the development of the game and to get involved. Battalion will also have Battle Rank seasons. What's that? Well, Battle Rank is Bulkhead's own competition season. Players will compete within each season, and then they get rewarded with cosmetic items. Players can either join a battalion and win as a group, or go it as a lone wolf. Speaking of which, there will be a ton of customization in the game, but all within the realms of realistic World War II items. Personal weapon engraving for one, which is something that soldiers did a lot during the war. Custom battalion badges for your uniform, as well as customized uniforms themselves, but don't expect to be running around in a bright orange outfit. That's not going to be happening. It's all grounded well in reality. It's pretty easy these days to get hyped and excited for a game before you've played it, especially with all the developer promises, and I'm not going to get too carried away with this game, especially considering it's so far away from being released, but from what I've seen so far and what I've read about it, it does seem pretty good, so I'm very interested to try it out when it hits Steam Early Access next year. It is still running on Kickstarter too for a little while, so if you're interested you can head over there and join the campaign if you want to, and if you don't want to, well, that's perfectly fine as well. I will keep a lookout for some new information on the game when it becomes available, and hopefully down the line get access to an early version of the code. And that's all for today, guys. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. What do you think on first impressions of Battalion 1944? As always, give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video, a thumbs down if you didn't. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.